one-on-one part-time jobs. Sometimes I get fired up and just want to call someone, ask them some questions, see what they're getting excited about. This episode is brought to you by Beavertown in collaboration with Independent Venue Week. They've got a great tour happening next week. Opus Kink in Manchester, Prima Queen in Birmingham, Lice in Bristol, and loads more. Get your tickets from beavertownbrewery.co.uk. Now, this band's great. I saw them a couple of months ago and I thought, what a brilliant live band. Next time, I'm going to be right at the front. And that band's DITZ from Brighton, DITZ. They're about to release their second album, Never Exhale. They're touring all across Europe in February and March. And I rang up Cal to see what's going on. Cal from DITZ, what is it about bands with jobs?
The only jobs that you can get that can sustain this sort of thing and can afford to have you go away for a month to go on tour are the kind of jobs where you're going to be working unsociable hours anyway. So the main problem is all of us working at different times, you know?
I mean, DITZ has been a band for a good few years now. I feel like that's like a success as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming up on 10 years now.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think this at the end of this year, we can call it 10 years, maybe. We played our first gig in 2016, though, so maybe we have to wait until the anniversary first gig.
So have you had different stages? Can you look back now and reflect on it and think, okay, those were the years we practiced once a week and we didn't play many shows, and then there was the next stage where we were like going a bit more ham on it. Could you break it up like that?
I think I can split it. It's really easy right now at this point in time because it's really easy to split right down the middle because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's almost bang in the middle of us being a band. If anything, it's slightly weighted towards now. I feel like we never really got out of the sort of Brighton, London, and then possibly like Leeds and Manchester point.
Yeah.
There was a couple. We did a couple of sort of. We went to Portugal once and France once. I think the Netherlands once before COVID. But we never really hit it properly hard. And I think maybe after then, we sort of realised what a pleasure it was to play shows and go and meet loads of people.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to go out and do something something completely different.
Yeah, and I remember that first show that we had away ever was in Portugal, and that was about 2018 sort of. And I hadn't got a flight in about 10 years at that point. I remember thinking how cool it was that we're going to go and play a show. I'm getting on this plane now.
Yeah.
Play a show. It felt like the sort of opportunity to do something, like to actually get on a plane and go somewhere and do some traveling.
So what kind of jobs have you been able to do? I mean, there's a few. There's like 5 of you, isn't there? But
it's an odd one to talk about, but it's for many years I was a manager at McDonald's. That's what I did.
Okay, yeah. How was it?
Awful.
Okay.
Worst job in the world.
I was kind of hoping you to say like, yeah, it was good actually, because obviously like it sounds rude, but people grow up and you're like, oh, you don't want to be working in McDonald's when you're older. But I imagine, maybe you get good perks. I don't know.
Sure, there was perks. One of the perks was I could really stack hours. Like I'd do 50 a week and I'd be working nights as well. So I'd sort of naturally save money because I wasn't spending it at the pub or something like that. Yeah. On the days I'd be too knackered to go to the pub anyway. So it just sort of quite naturally and easily, like I could save quite a lot of money.
What were the nights like? Were you dealing was that in the middle of Brighton?
Yeah, I worked at two different ones in the middle of Brighton.
So you're getting people who are leathered up.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stories there. All sorts, whether it's genuinely like violent and scary, or if it's just kind of sad and not that funny as well. There's quite a lot of stories.
But you got through it.
I think it was due to that sort of thing that I left in the end, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to have been too much, and I was like, this is enough of this for me.
Did you get paid all right at Mackey's?
I got, so it was about 2 years ago that I quit, and it was all right, but compared to now, like for the work, the actual work's not that, it's not that taxing, but you're on your feet all day, and there's always somebody breathing down your neck as well, which is, I still do kitchen work, and I like that as well. I like working with my hands, and I actually like being on my feet all day as well.
Get your steps in.
Well, exactly. Well, let's be honest, on a line, I've always thought it's always have my phone in my pocket, and you never actually get that many steps in, because I don't think it counts the sideways,
Okay. We need to have a look at that. So with this record, Never Exhale, is there like a change of feeling? I guess you hear about bands doing doing like the cycle. You release a record, you go on tour, you have a little bit of a break. Do you have that cycle? Does DITZ have that kind of cycle? Or is it more of a mesh?
We never really took the break. We definitely did the first half of that cycle and then just continued to tour non-stop. We were, it was sort of, we'd be away for about 100, like between when, even before actually. So the first album we recorded that towards the end of lockdown. We didn't release it until the March of 22. But at that point, we'd already done some like 40 shows, I think it might have been, at the end of 2021. And then we'd be sort of continuously away for about 100 days a year, every year since. And that didn't stop through the writing process or through the recording process.
Yeah.
After we finished recording, I think we had about 5 days, and then we did 2 weeks in France, and then we had a week at home, and then we went on tour with Idols around Europe, and that was another slightly over a month that was. So
that's a lot, isn't it? Do you go mad when you're away?
No, it's all about finding the routine. Even though you're in a different place, you've still got to keep some things the same, and then you'll be all right.
What's your thing?
I like to go for a run when I'm in a city. Best way to sort of find your way around it as well, because you cover more ground quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a nice way of sightseeing.
You're packing your shoes. You're doing a quick 5K-er.
Yeah. There was that on those tours. I did it quite a lot. And then I'm thinking about I've already been looking at cities on this next tour and seeing where the venue is and seeing where the best way would be to go.
Yeah.
Best places always have like a river or something like that, because you can just follow it.
What else is exciting you at the moment? What else is getting you pumped, giving you some fuel?
Music still, other people's music.
Yeah.
Saw the Jesus Lizard the other day. I was
going to ask. Yeah, you saw him.
Yeah. We all went to the Brighton one. Great. It was probably the most anticipated gig I've had in 10 years maybe, and they lived up to it.
It's quality.
What else is the Lambrini Girls record? It's reminded me of the second Idols record when they did their in-store tour, and you saw it sort of like, it's a band that we've watched play, in tiny places like Rossi Bar in Brighton, which is about 50 cap at push, and then to see him in this midweek chart in between Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Road is quite funny.
Hey, lovely to chat. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks for having me.
Speak to you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye. So there was our Wednesday stop and chat with Cal from DITZ. That record, Never Exhale, is coming out this Friday. And if you're living across Europe, they've got about 50 shows in February and March. Pretty sure you can go see them. That's DITZ on 101. Back tomorrow with our full episode with Prima Queen and Opus King for our Beavertown and Independent Venue Week collaboration. See you then.